guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And we have a brand new song review for you today. It's by Mura Masa featuring Charli XCX, and that's One Night. So I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. So Mura Masa has always been one of those hit or miss DJs for me, who possesses a fairly unique sound, but it never really comes to fruition in a consistent manner. He has moments in some of his tracks which are blindingly good for a brand new DJ, in which he utilizes many different world music sounds to create very unique and dance-based textures. Shall we see what I thought of this brand new track? Well, again, this follows that formula which I did hint at slightly earlier in this review. I love the instrumental choices, I love the world influence that seeped its way into this track, but the beat is really quite dull and the song never really went anywhere. Sure, I wasn't expecting a technical masterpiece, I was expecting a pretty simplistic dance number, but this seemed overtly stripped back without ever really building to a crescendo. The small drop I didn't necessarily mind, but the instrumentation kept its similar slimmed down style, which meant the song never really transitioned. Everything felt a little half explored, which is a shame really. As for Charli XCX, well, I have no comment really, as I mean her natural vocal tone did make her sound unique on this track, but her lyrics are just as bad as they always have been, and she doesn't really add too much in the way of dynamism here. Production-wise, I thought the song was handled fairly well actually, when you consider that the basis of this track was built off of a steel pan progression and a harp homophonic rhythm. That's difficult to say. There wasn't really much to produce here, so there wasn't much content to actually use here. Having said that, the song does sound fairly organic, and it was interesting to hear all those natural tones really push themselves into the foreground of this track. Charli sounds pretty decent here too, never coming across as overproduced, but instead sounding really individualized with that dual panned approach. The beat could have been a little thicker for me though, and that kick drum really came across as a little bit limp in that low ground. As for the rest of the synths, they were fine, but their dynamics were kept the same throughout the entirety of the runtime within this mix. They were more decorative than actually pro-production, so I guess that will come more into the musicality side of things. When it comes to the musicality of this track, I must admit the first few bars did actually have me fairly interested. I was thankful that they didn't phone it in with your usual dancehall style beat, but the song never just went anywhere like I mentioned earlier. Sure, we had those themes established fast, and sure, those progressions were fairly catchy, but they were never changed, not once throughout the entire runtime. Even the dynamics were kept largely the same throughout, in the vocals and the beat and the instrumentation, all continuing at the same amplitude from section to section. What this song needed though was a really deep and satisfying chorus. We had the catalyst there to build up these sections, since the verses were fairly fun and they did build towards each chorus, but the payoff always felt very unimaginative and kind of underwhelming. I'm not asking for your stereotypical big bass drop, but it could have been a little bit more inventive. I just know that this is a dance track and that people probably don't want me to dive into it too deeply, but it doesn't make you want to dance, and despite having all these crazy and unique elements within the mix, the song it still came across as generic. I hate using that word, but it did. Lyrically, the track is more of your yawn-inducing, seize the night crap spouted from an artist who only seems to have one concept to talk about. It was boring really, and her vocal performance was fine throughout the track, but it did sound a little forced from time to time, and her natural tone was a little bit just manipulated in the wrong way. I just feel with Charli XCX tracks that she just gives me every detail of her nights out, and that's all she has to offer. She literally offers no other themes or ideas or stories whatsoever. Nothing sounds personal. It's so by the numbers and boring. So all in all, an average track that had so much more potential to be something more. So I gave it a G rating of 5 out of 10, which is right down the middle. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.